going on, everyone? Coming at you from the University of Hartford. I'm Kamal Sino, along with my co-hosts Kyle Corbus, Jamie Ashford, and Zach Rice. Welcome to After the Game. We got a number of stories lined up, but making some major news around the baseball world. Vlad Guerrero Jr. has been called up to the Toronto Blue Jays. In the minor leagues, Guerrero Jr. had some identical stats to his father. So what do you guys think about Guerrero Jr. to the majors now?
I think it is probably the biggest thing that happened to the major leagues in a very good amount of time. He's been long awaited. I watched him play in Hartford when he's in AA last season. He hit a moonshot
At DD, right?
at Doug Nones Park. They were even in talks of having him possibly skip the AAA Buffalo Bisons and just go right to the majors, but he played the rest of second half of last season and like the first 2 weeks this year in the AAA, and now he's in the majors, and I think it's a great thing for the game.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely excited. I mean, it's the number one prospect in baseball, according to MLB.com, Baseball America, everybody. And I mean, he brought the World Series odds from the Blue Jays from 200 to 1 to 80 to 1 just by joining the team. So after batting 402 in AA, almost 340 in AAA, I think it's exciting to see where he goes from there.
Mm-hmm. I also have noticed after watching his debut that the pitchers seem to be treating him a lot differently than a lot of the other overall picks or prospects. And they're treating him like a serious talent because of his hitting average and because of what he did in AAA and AA as well. Like, I think he's definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Do you guys think he's like a completely different player from his father, or like does he have something identical?
The swing is pretty much exactly the same. When it comes to hitting, they're very similar. I will say, Vlad Sr. was pretty fast in the outfield, and Vlad Jr. he's a little chunky, so he doesn't move as well.
Yeah,
but
gotta move at third base.
Yeah,
he'll be fine.
He's playing in the hot corner, so I guess.
Hey, it's improvement though. It's improvement, so you can always improve on that.
Yeah.
So moving right along, I'll be giving down the ins and outs of the NBA postseason. So round 2 of the NBA playoffs is moving ahead. The Golden State Warriors are facing the Houston Rockets. Currently, this series 2-0. Game 1, Kevin Durant brought the Warriors to the promised land behind his 35 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. Warriors forward Draymond Green said, "When Durant is playing as aggressive as he's been, there isn't anyone in the NBA, maybe the world, who can stop him." For the Rockets, James Harden scored 35 points, and teammate Eric Gordon scored 27. The club struggled shooting only from long range, 14 for 47. Harden voiced his frustration with the referees and the lack of fouls being called on open three-point attempts. Harden said he just wants a fair chance, call the game how it's supposed to be called, and he'll live with the results. However, this is coming from one of the best floppers in the league, so you never know what you're going to get with him. The Warriors went on to win Game 2, 115-109, off of Kevin Durant's 29-point performance. The Denver Nuggets are up 1-0 against the Portland Trail Blazers. Nuggets big man Nikola Jokic made all the right moves, playing 41 minutes, scoring 37 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists. Trailblazers star Damian Lillard had half a dozen turnovers and missed 8 of 12 three-point attempts. Nuggets point guard Jamal Murray said, "We just wanted to make him uncomfortable." And over in the Eastern Conference, the Bucks and Celtics are tied 1 game apiece. In Game 1, it was all Celtics. Kyrie Irving had 26 points and 11 assists, tying his playoff career high. And Al Horford added 20 points and 11 rebounds. In Game 1 of the Raptors-Sixers series, Raptors star Kawhi Leonard went off for a career playoff high, 45 points along with 11 rebounds, and teammate Pascal Siakam added 29 points as the Raptors beat the Philadelphia Sixers at 108-95. And tonight, the Trailblazers look to bounce back against the Nuggets in Game 2 at 9 p.m. And the Yankees are off to an injury-ridden season. Kyle Corbus has more on that.
It's no secret that the Yankees have been struggling with injuries, but that hasn't seemed to put out the fire. There are currently 13 players injured. Among them are superstars, all-stars, Rookie of the Year runner-up, Silver Slugger, and multiple MVP award winners. The team currently has 2 players from their opening day lineup starting right now, and they are only 1.5 games back from the first place in the AL East. Some may say that essentially the no-name Bombers are just going through the motions, but the combination of a hot Gary Sanchez and hardworking young players seem to be working out. This past week, the Yanks called up 3 minor leaguers from Scranton, as well as signing veteran outfielder Cameron Maybin. Previously in the Cleveland Indians farm system, he said in his short time as a Yankee, he's seen that everyone wants to work together and win. He also added that he sees the same energy now that he saw when he was a part of the Astros in their 2017 World Series win. The young players are definitely making the most of their time in the Bronx, knowing that eventually each player in their position will come back. The absolute moonshots that catcher Gary Sanchez has been hitting, along with Luke Voigt's 8 home runs, is without a doubt helping the young baby Bombers stay right on track these past few weeks. Although Sanchez had a rough couple at bats when he first came back, there is a sign of life in his swing as key players return to the lineup in just a few games. Miguel Andujar should be back next week, followed by shortstop Troy Tulowitzki, and after that, slugger Giancarlo Stanton. With all these players back in the lineup, it's looking like mid-May might be an absolute nightmare for the rest of the league, but we'll just have to see. This year's Stanley Cup playoffs has been anything but ordinary. Jamie Ashford has more.
So the Stanley Cup playoffs are in full swing leading into round 2, but seemingly none of the division champions are left. The Tampa Bay Lightning, the reigning Stanley Cup champions, the Washington Capitals, the Nashville Predators, and the Calgary Flames have all been eliminated. Now, it's time for a new young team to take it. This year in particular, there are 3 major teams that have a chip on their shoulder and are ready for action. The Columbus Blue Jackets, the Carolina Hurricanes, and the St. Louis Blues are looking like real Stanley Cup final contenders. The Blues started from the bottom of the league in the beginning of the season and now in the second round of the playoffs, which not many people saw coming. Blue Jackets swept the league leaders in Tampa Bay when almost everyone thought the Lightning were going to win it all. The Carolina Hurricanes fought hard against the Caps and forced Game 7 into overtime. They quickly won the series. So why are all these wildcard teams doing so well? It really comes down to the mentality of the teams and the attitude that they have going into it. Each of these teams have large amounts of positive attitude and a young team, but the most dangerous look out of all of them to be the Columbus Blue Jackets. The fact that they could sweep an almost unbeatable team with MVP players such as Nikita Kucherov, Andrei Vasilevsky, Steven Stamkos, and Victor Hedman tells a lot about the mindset of the team going in. They want it all and are giving it their all after previously never making it past the first round in their history. They're young and they have some power behind them in forward Matt Duchene, defenseman Ryan Zingle, forward Artemi Panarin, and goaltender Sergei Bobrovsky. With this stacked lineup, they have a large chance of going all the way and seem to want it more than most. This playoff series has been and will be extremely interesting to watch as teams are starting to make their voices heard. More with the NFL draft. Here's Zach.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? So I'm here to talk about something I never thought I would, and that is the Miami Dolphins finally doing, in my opinion, a halfway decent job to fill the hole. They've had a quarterback for the last 20-something years, since Dan Marino. And for the first time in those 20-plus years, the Dolphins, with the brand-new head coach, Brian Flores, in his first year, it looks like he's actually set on putting a piece in the offense that the franchise can rely on to win games, make playoff appearances, and hopefully eventually bring a Super Bowl back to Miami. And that's the exact job that former quarterback Ryan Tannehill has been seen failing for the last couple of years. But now, with Cardinals taking star quarterback Kyler Murray first overall this year, the Dolphins jumped on the opportunity to acquire last year's 10th overall pick in Josh Rosen. And they got him for just a 2019 second rounder and a 5th round pick for 2020. And even though he still has to work his way past Ryan Fitzpatrick on the depth chart, the UCLA quarterback looks to be the missing piece of the Dolphins that they can't seem to hang on to, as we've seen with Jarvis Landry, Jay Ajayi, and just to name a few. But there's still a lot to be concerned with Miami Josh Rosen coming from an Arizona team who gave up 52 sacks last season, and the only other team that had 52 sacks last season was the Miami Dolphins. So with the new draft picks, bringing on a new offensive tackle, a new offensive lineman from Wisconsin with their second pick, looks like things are looking up for once in Miami. So back to Kamal.
So on behalf of Kyle, Jamie, and Zach, I'm Kamal Sino, and this has been After the Game.